Hello everyone. Happy Sunday night. It's a little bit late. I did a full moon in Pisces live stream earlier, so you can check that out if you would like to know more about the full moon. I'll just briefly kind of go over it. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but you can check that out if you would like to. So let's start with today. It is Sunday. It is the 19th. It is about 9 p.m. here right now. And the moon is in Pisces. And also Mercury is starting to slow way down to prepare for retrograde, which it will go into Sunday the 26th, so next Sunday. But of course, you're going to feel it a lot before and after it actually goes into retrograde, because the beginning and the end of retrogrades tend to be the most intense, I would say. Okay, so on Monday the 20th, that is the full moon. And the full moon in Pisces, it's going to be very magical, very spiritual, very interesting and unique for sure. There are a lot of septile aspects, which basically are magic. They create portals to other worlds, dimensions, universes. We're going to be getting a lot of downloads, but there's also a lot of really intense dark stuff coming up too. I feel like a purging is definitely taking place this full moon, more so than usual. And with Pisces, it's very much in the emotions and it's in the spiritual sense as well. So, any maybe spiritual attachments that we haven't noticed or dealt with, those things might be showing their faces now. But there's also a lot of things happening with Mercury too, which just makes the state of our minds very frustrating and irritating, because there's a lot of things coming out of our subconscious that we need to deal with, I think, this full moon. And it's not really pleasant. And with Neptune's rule over this moon, it's kind of hard to tell what's real and what's not real. I think whatever you're trying to hide from yourself in your mind, it's coming out now for sure. It's arising from the underworld, definitely. So I'm going to screen share. Let's go. Okay. I'm going to screen share today's chart. Okay. So this is today. I actually just put it for noon on the 19th. So is this right? This is right. Okay. So we have this kite aspect. I'm just realizing something right now. Okay, no, that makes sense. Okay, so we have this kite aspect of this air grand trine. I talked a lot about it on the full moon live stream at the beginning of the video, if you want to check that out. But there's this septile triangle happening here already today. So something is getting funneled through, whether that's energy, spirits, memories, visions, dreams, uncomfortable emotions. There's all kinds of stuff coming in right now, and it is connected to the south node here in this kite pattern. So this is the kite pattern. So it has a lot to do with karma and maybe repeating thought patterns and cycles that we carried in from past lives. I mean, it's a pretty it's, I don't know if intense, I guess it can be intense, this full moon, but it's also very confusing and spiritual and healing. I'm definitely interested to see how it plays out, because Neptune energy to me is always so confusing. It's just there and not there. What is reality? What is fantasy? What is real? What is made up? Where is the boundary? Is there a boundary? Who are we? It's very big and expansive, more so than Jupiter in Sagittarius. It just keeps going and going and going. So it's definitely a mind-blowing, to me, kind of energy. It's easy to lose yourself in that, I think. But we are in Virgo season, so we have that groundedness and that intellect. But because of some of the stuff happening with Mercury, for example, Mercury is here in Libra. So right now we're trying to find balance in the mind. We're trying to find peace and harmony and acceptance, maybe, or at least trying to find the balancing point in social situations with whoever we're talking to. But with this quincunx to Neptune, again, it's not clear. The thinking isn't clear. We're trying to organize our thoughts in that very Virgo way, I think, still, but it's just not really happening with that quincunx to Neptune. It's we know there's something that we have to deal with inside our own heads, within ourselves. We don't really know what it is yet. We'll get there, but it can't be accessed through normal means. And what I mean by that is because Pisces rules the 12th house, which is hidden, and it's the house of the subconscious and dreams, karma, letting go, it's very not seen. I think the way to maybe access what it is that needs to be looked at would be through unconventional means, trance work, dream work, meditation, mindfulness, prayer, whatever that is for you to get into that like subconscious Neptunian waters. That's how you're going to figure out what exactly is going on in the mind. If you don't do that, it might be hard to understand why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. And that's probably not right to say either, because Pisces is all about go with the flow. It has to ride that wave of Neptune, right? So, you know, the Virgo part in us right now really wants to find reason and order, but we can't do that a conventional way. It's going to be different. Yoga, maybe even hiking too, but just like paying attention to beauty, I think would help as well. Okay, so we have the septile triangle, Venus with the North Node and Lilith connecting to Jupiter. Yeah, that's really interesting. And also Venus tomorrow is forming a quincunx to Chiron. It will be more exact tomorrow, which is our relationships in Scorpio already is pretty intense, hot or cold, black or white, all or nothing. It's super passionate. It's very dedicated and loyal, but it can also be very cold. It can be a fire tornado. It can be intense, to say the least. You know, we're going through this death, rebirth, transformation, renewal thing together while Venus is in Scorpio. And forming this quincunx to Chiron and Aries, in traditional astrology, Aries and Scorpio are ruled by Mars, the warrior. So Chiron, the pain wounds, the deep soul wounds that we haven't healed yet. That's a very tough energy. That's really hard. Our relationships are acting as the trigger. Like we're going to feel so triggered, I think, by our close one-to-one partnerships, which is Libra, feeling really triggered, feeling really overwhelmed, maybe projecting our stuff onto other people and they're projecting theirs onto us. And it's just like, it's a chaotic energy. It's intense. And with the Scorpio and Aries here, that energy, it's war. Love and war. So it's not bad, but it's creating some friction. I kind of see this as like a little bit of an earthquake in a way, you know, being in Virgo season. There's definitely these like undertows and undertones of chaos and being on the defense and feeling like emotional pain within ourselves, but the way it's going to come out might be Aries, like fight, you know, go to war, argue. It might be very aggressive right now, but there will be some like serious deep healing taking place at a very deep spiritual soul level, I think. And then we can use our experiences to help others, of course, on their path. That's what Chiron is here to teach us. And Chiron being in Aries is also for everybody an identity crisis. So we're learning something about ourselves, but we're going to have to look at our deepest possible trauma probably now and on this full moon. So it's pretty intense. Like I said, you can check out the full moon video if you want to go a little bit deeper into that. Okay, so then the moon is going to move into Aries. Of course, it depends on where you are. I'm coming from a central time zone, so it's going to be late after the full moon is when moon moves into Aries, which I think will kind of just amplify this like warriorship intensity, wanting to fight others as we learn about the self, as we gain ground, we draw boundaries, things like that. And then by the time we get to Wednesday, the 22nd, the sun is going to move into Libra. Actually, first, Mercury is going to square Pluto. Wait, let's go to that day. It's okay, Mooney. My cat Mooney, she's a Gemini, so she always gets like really anxious before the Mercury retrograde. That's just what I think anyway. It's probably me getting anxious before the Mercury retrograde. She's just like feeding off of my energy. Okay. So on the 22nd, okay, it's not quite there yet. So let's go hours. Okay, so around the afternoon in Central Time on the 22nd, we have the fall equinox and we have the sun entering into Libra. So because tropical astrology follows the seasons and not the constellations, Libra is the beginning of fall. It's the beginning of autumn. All the leaves start to die. It's my favorite season. I'm sorry. You know, all the leaves are beautiful. They start turning these gorgeous colors, and it's really supposed to be that resting period. You know, we had the Virgo season. We're trying to get in that last harvest. We're collecting the seeds. We're trying to problem solve, working with the community, being of service to others. It's a very like quick Mercurian energy. And now we're moving into Libra season, which is like a little bit of a break before we have to like really get it together before we prepare for winter in Scorpio season. So Libra season tends to be a bit lighter. Not that Virgo isn't light. I think that Virgo is very fast paced, and Libra doesn't have the energy for that generally, at least not for long periods of time. This is an initiator sign. So it's about, and this is an intellectual air sign too. So it's about creating the new ideas and, you know, coming up with new ideas, being the boss, being the leader, being the initiator. But, you know, whether that person has follow through or not, if they're a Libra, it really depends on their chart. So we'll have a lot of great ideas, but not all of them will go into fruition because we're really supposed to rest, I think, during Libra season a little bit, enjoy the pumpkins and enjoy the beautiful leaves here in the Northern Hemisphere, and just enjoy what's happening around us, the beauty and the fall decorations and the pumpkin pie and the, I just love fall so much. Okay, so we're moving into Libra season. It's not just that though. Libra is about justice and balance, being that literal scales, the balancing point between all things. Doesn't mean that Libra is harmonious all the time. They prefer it, but when we're tilting the scales, say you have 100 pounds on this side's going to go up really fast. So Libra will be that person to take 100 pounds on the other side and slam it down. So it can be very, very harsh sometimes, I think. And I think people forget that about Libra. They tend to avoid conflict for sure. And we won't really want to be fighting too much, I don't think, which is good. Like we really, really need that right now, I think. I don't know why my cat's freaking out right now. She wants my attention. So it's about being that balancing point, and that might mean being kind of extreme sometimes. But it's all about like being in that 0 point, like just being relaxed and maybe socially being observant of whatever situation we find ourselves in with other people, and like trying to create that very like court system justice harmony. You've ever been to court? Just watch how like the judge and the lawyers and everybody involved, how they're all very peaceful, generally all very peaceful. There's an order, you know, there's an order to everything, and everybody is doing a lot. There's a lot of ideas going around. It's still got that Virgo tone, but it's more balanced, it's more peaceful, it's very organized and very air-like and detached. Even though Libra is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love, it's still an air sign. So it's more so in the mind of like creating that harmony and viewing beauty and art and peace and love. So we also have the fall equinox. So we begin our descent into the underworld nice and slow. It's very easy at first, but we're definitely starting at that time of the year where it's time to go in. So if you have any celebrations that you like to do in the equinox, I don't know, honestly, if I've ever done anything. I may have. I've gotten more consistent with my practice. There's all kinds of stuff online about like, you should, you know, tie a red ribbon around a stick and draw the four corners. Like, I just can't. I'm sorry. Like, I'm always going to do my own thing as far as like rituals and magic goes. Like, I want to honor it, but like, I don't know. I think some people maybe like that. I don't like it, honestly. I just like to be intuitive and like do my own thing. But let's celebrate the beautiful year that we've had. It's been, you know, what it is, but in my opinion, it's been better than last year, but you know, we're still going through it. But enjoy the fall equinox. Yay. I love fall. So let's go to the next day. Thursday, the 23rd, we're going to have Venus opposing Uranus. Ooh. So like I said, Venus in Scorpio, it's actually the hardest placement for Venus to be in. Venus wants to love and be social and go to the club or go to the art museum and just like enjoy the company of her favorite people and eat good food and just enjoy beauty, enjoy life, music, go to a concert. And Scorpio is death and transformation and darkness and intensity. So it's not easy. It's not comfortable at all. It's very intense, and it's not like the normal kind of relationship atmosphere for Venus. And then opposing Uranus, which is electricity, it's sudden changes, unexpected changes, breakthroughs, aha moments. It's very nervous energy. It's the nervous system. It's very exciting. It's very abrupt, disruptive, rebellious, revolutionary. So we're going to be seeing some things, and the people that are close to us that maybe we haven't seen them in that light before, or we're having realizations. It's like a literal just revelation. And this has something to do with our relationships. Now, it might not go together like that so easily. I don't know if that sounds easy. We're going to choose which side we like. Which side do you guys like here? Do you like the Uranus and Taurus, which is like constant changes to the foundation, our home life, our family, maybe a bit of how we make money or values? Or do you prefer the Venus and Scorpio side, which is like really passionate, intense emotions? I have Venus and Scorpio, so I like this side more probably. But what happens with oppositions, we always tend to choose, not always, but usually we choose our favorite side. And the other side ends up becoming very amplified because we're ignoring it. And it's like that other side wants to be seen and heard and acknowledged. So we'll project it onto other people, or we'll attract people who are the extreme of the other one. In oppositions, there's always going to be tension. It can be really beautiful between opposites, but because we're talking about Venus and Scorpio and Uranus and Taurus, I would say it's going to be uncomfortable. There's some kind of shift happening with our values and how our close one-to-one partnerships play into that. So it's definitely an intense, chaotic energy. And on that same day, the moon is entering into Taurus too. So it's really going to make this process emotional. I just feel like intuitively like big changes in the way that we see our relationships, because we're going through this rebirth and renewal together. Something is changing. Something is happening with the people who are close to us. Possibly the power dynamic, since we're talking about Scorpio here, the hierarchy, who owns what, because Scorpio is also binding contracts and shared resources. Who owns what? Where do I stand? Where do you stand? Power and control issues, emotions, feeling jealous and possessive and just very like attached. Or the other thing, which is the other side of Scorpio, which is like complete coldness. That's the kind of energy I think this will turn out as. And then when we get to Saturday, actually, let's go to Friday. What are we on? Okay. So on Friday, the 24th, we also have the moon in Taurus, again, opposing now Venus and Scorpio. It's going to go right over that Uranus, and it's going to oppose Venus and Scorpio. So again, it's making it emotional, making it feel intense. Relationships, it could be great. It could be like just this amazing passion and feeling so close to the people that you care about, like so close, like you become one with their energy. But it could be the other thing too, where there's some like big changes happening, things are shattering, the illusions are falling down and truths are being revealed, and it might not be pretty. So it could be both too. And then on Saturday, so let's go to the next day, we have Mars in Libra forming a trine aspect with Saturn. Okay, here's Mars in Libra, and here is Saturn. So let's see how it's a 7 degrees here, 7 degrees here. So it'll be exact that day. So Mars in Libra, if you saw my post on Instagram, everyone says how terrible it is. Oh, it's so weak. I hate that. Oh my gosh. So Mars in Libra, this is the executioner, the lawyer who just fights like ruthlessly, the harsh judge. I think Mars in Libra really brings out the best in Libra because it's complementing those parts of Libra that usually get suppressed or ignored or not developed. Libra notoriously has trouble standing up for themselves, at least early in life, because they want everything to be Venus, pleasant, harmonious, sweet, soft. It doesn't really want the conflict. So having Mars here, it like forces Libra to make it happen. It forces Libra to fight for justice, to fight for what Libra cares about. And then connecting to this Saturn and Aquarius, I think that's beautiful. You know, Saturn is Saturn in Aquarius is breaking down structures that don't work anymore. So I feel like Mars in Libra is going to help that process. It's going to help society continue to break down those structures that just don't work anymore. With that warrior, like Mars, like fire kind of energy, it's going to get intense. It's not going to be, oh, we're just going to sit back and peacefully watch all of these things happen that we don't want to happen. Not with this aspect. I don't think so. I think people are going to really start maybe even rioting, going out in the streets, protesting. I've been seeing online, people are like ready to protest, especially with like women's rights. That's what I pay more attention to probably. So I've noticed that. This is a great aspect. I'm actually really excited for it because Libra and Aquarius, you know, that's like the soulmate duo right there. They work together well. Libra initiates and Aquarius will carry that thing out and follow through to the bitter end, and then the building is going to fall, the tower is going to fall. So I think it's a great aspect. I'm excited. It's probably going to be very anxiety provoking, again, nervous system, chaotic, disruptive, but these two working together, I mean, magic happens. This is like John Lennon and Yoko. This is the revolution, baby. It's going to be great. Okay. And then finally, by the time we get to the 26th, where is Mercury? Here it is. And then we have Mercury finally going into stationary. So Mercury is slowing way down this whole week. It kind of feels like things are starting to slow down. They're getting harder and harder. Technology bugs, weird stuff happening. And then finally, Mercury is completely still in the sky, which is what stationary is. So Mercury's energy is amped up. We feel desperate. We feel like we gotta get things done. We're feeling super anxious and it's all internal. It's a tough time for sure. And then Mercury is going to go into retrograde until in Central Time, October 17th, but you will probably feel it until the 19th because it's going to be stationary from the 17th to the 19th here. You might have to adjust to your time zone. So Mercury is going into retrograde. It's going to be great. It's not all bad. It feels bad because we feel like really anxious, like we gotta get it done right now. And then we end up doing things very hastily and making mistakes because we don't think things through. That's the problem. But the good thing about Mercury retrograde is we can kind of like go into our, like I'm picturing a library, like a mental library, and start like putting the books back where they belong and like doing the things that we knew we had to do, but we either forgot or we glossed it over. Like we're going to have that chance to really sort things out and do the inner work. And being in Libra, this is interesting. I have Mercury in Libra as well. So I think the reversal of Mercury in Libra, I do believe that it's going to be things that we wanted to fight for and that were important to us, but we didn't do it. For some reason, we wanted to keep the peace, so we kept our mouth shut. We said something that was pleasant and harmonious instead of saying how we really feel. Those are the things that are coming up, and I think we will have the chance to deal with those things now. So prepare for that, be courageous, tap into that Aries energy, which is impulsive, do the thing, think about it later. Fight for what you want, fight for what matters to you, fight because you feel like it. That's really hard when we're in like a Libra state. So I think that might be some of the lessons coming in. It's going to be different for you. Look at your birth chart and see where Libra is, what houses it's in. That will show you like the shift that's happening in the mind and the work that you need to do. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful full moon tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful week. I will be seeing some of you this week and I am excited. So have a great rest of your night. How do we get off screen share here? Here we go. Oh, wait, no. It's been a long day. Okay, have a wonderful rest of your night. Get some rest. It's going to be a doozy this week. Okay, bye.